Looking at when we import imagery. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a picture box. You can obviously go file, import, drag and drop, etc. We've had a couple discussions around this now about scaling proportionately. So when we scale our text box, we use our black arrow and we scale. If we need to scale our actual image, we use this white arrow, making sure we are always pressing Shift to scale. When we press Shift to scale, we make sure that our proportions are correct and things don't look like this. That's a big no-no. Another way we can double check is if we use that white arrow, we can go over, because sometimes we might just accidentally slip and we scale that picture not proportionate. If we use that direct select arrow, that white arrow, we can go ahead and look at our percentages. Making sure that lock is always on and they constrain the proportions, we can see these two numbers do not match. They should always match. If you go ahead and you click a down arrow, it will, or an up arrow on any one of these, it will immediately even out those proportions and scale for you. Say for instance, I actually in fact only need this picture to be this big. When I go to my direct select arrow, I can see I've scaled this picture down 4.675%. That's really tiny. So we need to double check that picture for a few things. We need to make sure that potentially if we're setting this off for print, it needs to be CMYK value. But for the purpose of today, we're just going to check on the measurement value and see maybe it has, maybe the picture is really large, but it has a really low res image or a little low resolution. So we're going to go ahead and open up that picture, but let's keep in mind our percentage. So while that picture is opening, so like I said, we see this has been scaled down 4.5%, and we have a crazy width of 2 and change. Let's go ahead and just bring that down to 2 by 2, just to keep it a nice even number. So again, if I use my black arrow and I look at my measurements, you can see my measurements are, say, 4 by almost, or just over 3. If I hit that white arrow and I click, I get the actual dimensions of the image itself. So if this image is sitting at 4.5 and change percent, and the size we needed is 2%, I can go into Photoshop and size that image to exactly what's needed here, so I can get a true idea of the resolution of this photo. So if I hit Command Option I, or go up to Image and Size, I can see we have some crazy proportions here. So first what I would do is I would bring this up to 300%, because we know we need our images at least 300%. We can see that the width is 10.5 and change by 10.5. If I want to take this image and make sure that it's sized exactly to the original 2 by 2, or what we need it to be, I'm going to just turn that back off, because we can keep that resolution at 300, or you're welcome to keep it on only if you're scaling down. If you're scaling up, what happens? A resolution goes down. So you want to make sure that your scale, you keep your numbers even. In this instance, we can bring it down to 2 inches, but you could see that resolution is quite high. So instead, we're just going to cancel that out, go back, bring that up to 300. I'm going to turn that resampling off, because right now I just need that at a 300 DPI or PPI. Bring it down to 2 by 2, press OK. Ensuring when we resize that image, we are never saving over our original. We want to keep our original at a large scale. This is our small scale. Again, for the purpose of today, I'm just going to press save on this, just so we can move through this fast. That should have automatically updated, so we can see now our percentage has changed from 4.5% to 100%.